Now, that is it for the moment as we're coming ever so close to the Louisville Waterworks now with the Delta Queen beginning to take the lead. Let's go back to Liz and Fred.
Thank you very much, Reed.
Let's go right out to Wayne. Wayner, what's the deal here? Looks like those sunglasses are getting in the way of some of your video there.
Well, just a little bit, Fred, but yes, the boats are now in sight. We are seeing the Belle on the Indiana side approach. The Delta Queen is still not in sight, but that's just because of our vantage point right here. But no question, the crowd here at the water tower is ready. 2,000 people on hand. It's the 8th time they've held this boat race party out here. They have got a lot of activities for the kids. They've got Kentucky Fried Chicken, mint juleps. They've got jugglers, musicians, clowns, and it's just a great day out here. What a difference from last year when the sprinkles really put a damper on all the activities out here. But the Belle is in plain view right now. We hope to get a real nice view as the two come up side by side right in front of the water tower. But we still have probably another 2 or 3 minutes before we really get to see both of them neck and neck. But no question, I think the river current is a factor this year, slowing them down as they head up the river towards 6 Mile Island. Fortunately, though, they didn't have to cancel this year. They had to postpone back in 1983 and 1967. The river is up a bit this year, but it does not seem to be a factor or a problem. And as the boats come into sight, the fans are getting a little excited here. And now here comes the Delta Queen up along the Kentucky shoreline. And it does appear that the Delta Queen has a slight edge on the Belle at this point. The Belle is pouring out lots of white and black smoke at this point, and the Delta is moving along at a good clip also. And hopefully we're going to get a more or less of a straight line shot of these two boats as they pass the water tower here. This is the halfway mark of the first leg upriver. They'll have about, another 3.5 miles to go before the turnaround, but you're going to get a good shot right now as to just what kind of lead the Delta Queen has. And it appears to be, well, almost a boat length at this point. The Delta Queen is moving along. They just sounded their horn, and the crowd here is not too happy that the Delta Queen has a lead. Of course, they're trying to prevent a third consecutive victory by the Belle. And they seem to be on their way right now with a good boat length lead. And as the Delta Queen gets out of the way, we'll be able to see the Belle in the background on the Indiana side. And they are moving along. And probably another, I would say about 10, 15 minutes before they hit the turnaround point. But no question, it is a boat length and a half for the Delta Queen right now. The fans are a little on the downside here, Fred and Liz. But let's hope it's a different story on the way back down the river. We'll send it back to you right now.
250,000 incensed fans on the riverfront. Scary proposition. Yeah.
You bet.
Well, the Delta Queen is a stronger boat, of course, and can really push against that current. But on coming back down the river, the current should help the Belle of Louisville a little bit. We haven't been on board the Delta Queen yet. Of course, we've been talking about the hometown boat, the Belle of Louisville, but you can't have a race without a competitor. So let's go to Mike Shue and Sandra Hughes on board the Delta Queen. Hi.
Hi. Nice to be able to join you.
Listen,
Yeah, isn't it wonderful? I tell you what, well, you can go ahead.
Well, first thing I want to say, if Steve Bergen is listening, I am not freezing as you predicted. It's gorgeous out here.
It is. It's absolutely wonderful. The clouds have gone in, and I want to know where everybody gets off calling this thing a slight lead. I just timed it with the
huge lead.
Back at the bridges, we were behind by about 25 seconds, and there's some high-tension power cables that go across the river, and I did my own little timing. I started the clock. Right now, that's what I was doing now. Right now, we are some 30 seconds in the lead, so none of this slight stuff anymore, the rest of you professional broadcasters out there.
You know, the reason we're in the lead, we've got a lot of enthusiastic people on here cheering the boat on, and we've got weight on our side. Actually, not Mike, but we've got a whole group of people over here. They said they're sitting up in the front. The weight in the front helps, I guess, the boat move quicker. But you were over with the captain. What did he tell you the secret to our win?
I have the secret to it all here, folks, and what the reason is why we're going to win is if you notice in all those aerial pictures, we're really close to the shoreline. Well, the heavy current is way out in the middle of the river. We're right next to the shoreline, so we're steaming up at full steam through water that is not pushing us back very much. Then, once we make the turnaround, you're going to see us right in the middle of the river where we can pick up all the current we can. So I think the antlers are going to be changing hands this year.
No,
Take my word for that.
We know, and so does everyone else here. You know, though, Mike, the Delta Queen had some people worried.
They did.
Actually, they got in a little late to their destination before here, which was Evansville, Indiana. But Captain Gabriel Shingary says he intentionally steered the boat along the shoreline, as is being done right now, to make up that time, and it must have worked because the Delta Queen arrived here about 10:15 this morning. The Queen passed under the Conway Railroad Bridge. You know, the bridge goes up and it went under there, and then it went to the shoreline to await the takeoff. And you know, in 1980, actually, the Delta Queen didn't even make it, and they had to forfeit the race. But no forfeiting, we are ready to win.
The chant is going up. We're going to win the race today. Take those antlers and give them to us.
We're ready.
Back to you, Liz and Fred.
Whoa, I tell you, they're excited. You guys,
They're pumped, huh?
you are excited. I tell you what, if enthusiasm helps, I think they will win.
Yeah, I don't know about this. So they're giving away their strategy here, and I get the feeling the Belle of Louisville people are watching this whole show, and they're going to sort of change their strategy, and they may have tipped their hand too soon, you know?
Fighting for the middle of the river.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. We'll be back in just a few seconds as Channel 32's great steamboat race coverage continues from the Indiana shore. Stay with us.
We're back for our live coverage of the Great Steamboat Race.
Let's find out what's happening and go upstairs to Reed Yaden. Reed, what's the deal?
Okay, we've got a good reading on the effect of the current now. Last year, I looked back at the log, and we were 27 minutes, or last year we were 21 minutes getting up to the Louisville Waterworks. This year it took 27 minutes, so the current slowed them down by 6 minutes getting up to the Louisville Waterworks. It was about that point just before the water company this year where the Delta Queen took the lead. Now, let me give you a good view here. We're just almost directly opposite the boats, and you will see the Delta Queen is still maintaining that lead. Wayne Hart called it a boat length as they passed the water company. I'm still calling it a boat length now as they're coming up into the Cox's Park area, and maybe that boat length is even being stretched out a little bit more. From the sound of what I was hearing when Sandra and Mike Shue were on there, it sounds like there's a lot of happiness on the Delta Queen at the present time. The Belle of Louisville, though, still throwing out a ton of smoke. Black smoke coming from the boilers, the white smoke coming from the calliope that they're playing. We're getting set now for the real excitement, the turnaround. Both boats to be helped by tugboats this year. We'll get into that a little bit more at the moment. But the boats right now are passing Cox's Park. Let's go back to Fred and to Liz.
Reed, you had made a prediction a little earlier to me that you thought the Delta Queen was going to win.
And I still think that. Yes, I'll stick with that prediction. The Delta Queen, I think, will win this thing rather handily, possibly by a minimum of 5 boat lengths.
Wow, that's a big lead.
Yeah.
I guess they think it's their turn. Thanks a lot, Reed.
A gutsy prediction in front of the Louisville home crowd here. I don't know, Reed. They're kind of getting awful tight there. We'll see what happens. Yes. Now, reporter Gary Collins is covering his first steamboat race. He's in southern Indiana at the Eagle Steel Company, where they're having their own boat party. Gary, what's happening?
Well, that's right, Fred, and we're having a good time down here, believe it or not, but of course we can't see the boats. I see a few helicopters. I think Reed, I can't really tell, but that's probably Reed flying right overhead, so they're a little ways downriver from us. The tugboats, by the way, are poised and ready to go. As you well know, if someone's never seen this race before by chance, which I don't think there's too many out there in Louisville, this is kind of like the pit stop in the Indy 500. This can make or break the race, and if they're as tight as what I'm hearing, except for Mike Shue, this could be a very, very crucial point. I got a couple people for you to meet here. 2 brothers. First of all, Bill Davis. Come on in here, Bill. You're from where?
Louisville.
You're from Louisville. Who you for?
U of L.
Well, no, I mean in the boat race here.
Okay, the Belle of Louisville.
The Belle of Louisville.
Right.
And your brother Mike. And Mike, where are you from?
I'm from Cincinnati.
And who are you for?
The Bengals.
Well, I tell you, it's really a fun party, you can tell. In the boat race, Mike.
Oh, I would have to say the Delta Queen.
Wait a minute. You call yourselves brothers?
Well,
Are we going to have to duke it out right here?
I don't want to embarrass him in front
Well,
of
the
all
records
these
say
people.
we're brothers, but today we're the Delta Queen.
And we're the Belle of Louisville. Yay. Go Belle!
All right. You heard it here.
Go Queen City.
Once again, this is not the best seat in the house for the race downstream, but of course when it gets up to the turnaround, this is going to be fantastic. This is where it's all happening, and this could make or break the race. I predict that, certainly. And once again, the bell.
Let's hear it for the Belle.
Mike, I think you're alone in this. Maybe if your wife is here, she'll support
My
you.
wife and son will help me with the Delta Queen here.
All right. Okay, that's it from here. We're waiting, and it shouldn't be too much longer. Back to Fred and Liz.
Thank you, Gary. You can tell they haven't seen the boats yet. They're not quite as excited as they were at the water tower, but you just wait.
Quite.
It's going to get really exciting there in a little bit. Thanks, Gary.
Gutsy guy is standing alone in the crowd, though. I don't know. Some Delta Queen people out there, though. Still to come, more live coverage of the Steamboat race. Stay with us on Channel 32.